Fox News alert, the bipartisan task force on Capitol Hill on the first Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, 65 days ago, is now requesting a briefing with the Secret Service about what happened yesterday, as a suspect is accused of pointing an AK-47 just hundreds of yards away from the former president at his West Palm Beach, Florida golf course. Florida Congresswoman Laurel sits on that House task force and joins us right now from Florida as well. Congresswoman, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay. When you heard the news, did you think somebody's kidding? This happened again?
It is shocking that we find ourselves here today. Two of the things that we identified early in the Butler task force were the concept of the perimeter, how broad the security perimeter was, and second, the level of resources that have been assigned to President Trump. And here we see again that both of those things are failures. So, it is not enough for Democrats to wait until after the fact and say political violence is wrong. They should be repudiating right now the constant rhetoric against President Trump about being a threat to democracy. The second thing that we need to see happening immediately is that President Biden and Vice President Harris should call for a full presidential level detail to be assigned to President Trump. Clearly, the threat to him is extreme, and that needs to happen immediately.
Well, Congresswoman, you know that, and we've already heard this, I'm sure you've gotten an earful from the agents you've spoken to regarding what happened in Butler, is the Secret Service has a limited pot of money, and they're trying to be, efficient at covering everything they can. Obviously, they need more protection. Obviously, they need more money. Are they going to get it?
Well, that's right. There are a finite number of Secret Service agents. And so one of the things that they have to do is make decisions about where to allocate those agents and where to put them. But going into that decision are two things. One is the title. Are you a sitting president? Are you a candidate?
Right.
But the second thing is a realistic assessment of the threat environment. And that is where this has changed. There's a very clear, very real active threat environment that just necessitates assigning those resources to President Trump to keep him safe. So absolutely, as Congress, we have an obligation to look at the entire Department of Homeland Security, see where their spending priorities are, see where that money is going. Absolutely, there are places that we could be cutting the spending at Homeland Security, and those resources may need to go to Secret Service to make sure they have a full complement of agents that are the best and the brightest.
Indeed. One difference, a glaring difference between what happened in Butler and what happened yesterday in West Palm Beach is the suspect in Butler dead. This guy is alive. He's going to be able to, if he chooses to tell the truth and talk to cops, he can fill you in on everything.
That's right. In any criminal investigation, having a suspect in custody creates an opportunity for that interview to learn more about what may have motivated him, what led him to this day, who he may have been working with. So we don't yet know whether the suspect is cooperating with law enforcement, but it's a tremendous opportunity to be able to understand what brought us to this day and whether there are other co-conspirators who are part of this happening.
Right.
Another key difference here is that thankfully that Secret Service, those agents who were assigned to the president, who were with him that day, acted swiftly and decisively and kept this situation from being far worse than it could have been. And the president is safe today because of their swift and decisive action.
We did hear from the Secret Service spokesperson yesterday in the afternoon when they were giving that briefing, and he alluded to how these, I forget the exact terminology he used, but he essentially said these are dangerous times. And one of the things that contributes to that is just the rhetoric. And, people are at each other's throats. Do you see that as a contributing factor in Butler, which you've already looked at?
Absolutely. The rhetoric is every day, all day. And as it's directed against President Trump, it's saying that he's a threat to democracy, that he's going to destroy America. It's absolutely absurd, and it is irresponsible. And Democrats and people who are speaking in these terms about President Trump need to take responsibility and really think about the consequence of using that kind of language. Right. Because here we are again. And so in the days immediately after Butler, we heard people accept that that needed to stop, but it didn't last. And that today is a day that needs to be taken seriously.
It lasted about a day and a half. Congresswoman, thank you very much for joining us live.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.